Want to grow on TikTok? Join our agency for support with expert mentoring, stream protection, and audience growth. It's time to level up. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to join today.
Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with Misfits Boxing President Mams Taylor. Mams, good to see you. Sorry I'm a little bit sweating for this interview, but how's life?
It's hot, you know, it's very hot out here, but what a beautiful place to be, right?
Yeah, very beautiful, very sunny as well. Blessed to be here. Let's get to the main event talk first of all. Got very tense at the press conference there between the two, and I guess KSI was poking the bear a little bit as well. I was surprised to hear though that he said that him and Gib weren't friends. What's the story there?
Oh, I think Gib, look, I'm very happy to have Gib fighting in Misfits. I'm very happy to finally put the fight between Slim and Gib on Misfits, and it's been years in the making. Gib and KSI have a history that extends longer than my relationship with KSI. They've known each other for a long time. So I can't say that I know all of the ins and outs, but I know that I think things started turning sour when Gib started attacking Misfits, the roster, maybe putting some things down. KSI got irritated. They had some back and forth. Gib and I had some back and forth, but we've since resolved, you know. But you know, I think that's where it stems from. And also they've sparred a couple of times, and there's some tension there, and it's brewing. And look, KSI is the CEO of Misfits, but make no mistake, first and foremost, he's a competitive boxer who wants to fight and be the king of the mountain, especially of his own palace. And Gib's sort of, there's no victims here. They've both engaged.
Do the Misfits fighters view Gib as a bit of an outsider? He's the guy who said that he wants to take down promotions from the inside. Is that part of what's ruffled some feathers, maybe?
Gib is like the Stone Cold Steve Austin of Misfits. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you know, listen, I'm like, hey, could you be respectful about the belt? He's like, fuck the belt, I don't want the belt. You know, like it is a little bit of kind of shades of that kind of storyline. And although I don't know, you know, for me, I'm like confused. I'm like, we had a nice chat today, but he hates me now, you know. But I do think there's some underlying truth there. I don't think it's just for the storyline. So, and that makes for the best promo when it's based on some reality. So at the end of the day, for me, it's like, roll with it.
There was a fight here on the undercard between Kingpyn and Salt Pappet. It's been talked about for a while there, but in the past few hours, it's been talked about the amount of rounds it's been contested over. What's the situation there? Has that been resolved?
It's all been resolved. They're fighting 6 rounds, and I think it generated some heat last night and created some tension between them. So all's well that ends well.
Outside of that fight and the main event, what other fights do you think, or what's the fight do you think that was it's the sleeper fight of the card?
Oh man, there's so many. I mean, look, you've got Amir Anderson, future world champion, for his second fight ever, insisting on taking on this opponent, Niraj, who has 6 KOs under his belt. Someone building their record. Yes, he's had 6 losses too, the guy is fighting Niraj. But as someone who wants to build their record early on for a second fight, you don't take those kinds of risks and go against a puncher who could potentially knock you out. Amir insisted on this guy, wanted him, wants to test himself. I think he's going to have a very accelerated path to the top, and that's going to be fantastic. We've got the lightweight tournament finals between Cray Cray and Yudi Gang. The winner of that will be fighting Dean the Great on January 18th. You know, Warren the Mechanic Spencer takes on Nick Elameo, another great fight. 2 guys that bring it forward. Every fight on the card is a 50-50 fight pretty much, you know. So I can't wait. It's going to be very exciting, and also very excited about Ben Williams and Jarvis too. That's going to be fantastic. Every fight I can think of, I'm excited for.
A lot of people can't wait for the announcement as to what or who KSI's opponent is. Like, I don't expect you to tell me who that opponent is before it gets announced. However, can you tell me that it's 100% done? Can you say that that opponent is locked in now for KSI's next fight?
It's 98% done, yeah.
And of the opponent, of the list of opponents that could have been, why this opponent for KSI? What made him different to other opponents that it could have been?
Good question. He's got a list, and at this point, I think it's whoever's team is going to be cooperative to actually be serious and step up and make a fight happen. He wants to fight often. He wants to fight challenges. He wants to fight big names, and that's what we're going to bring him.
Could you provide some updates on these fighters? First of all, the potential of Dillon Danis getting back in a Misfits ring.
I think Dillon Danis will get back in a Misfits, under the Misfits MMA banner. I think that's what suits him. Tried his hand at boxing. He's not an easy guy to knock out, as Logan found out. You know, Logan obviously decisively won that fight, but Dillon has great survival instinct, but I think he has great attacking instincts if he's doing MMA. So why put a fish out of water? You know, he's going to swim very well in the ocean. That's where we'll put him.
Barbie 3-6.
Pardon?
Barbie 3-6.
Barbie. Oh yeah, I'd love to see her again. She's taking a little bit of a break. I think she was upset about the loss. She trained really hard, and you know, doors open. She's got a few fights left with us whenever she's ready.
The potential of Zlatan Ibrahimovic being in a Misfits ring.
I'd say it's a 38% chance.
That's very precise.
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot.
I want to ask you as well, a couple of months back I listened to a podcast between iDubbbz and Anis, and they said that, look, talks have started for Creator Clash 3.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you view Creator Clash as competition?
No. I think they have a different brand. I think they do some of the similar stuff. I really enjoy some of the theatrics they do. I think most of the Creator Clash roster, whenever I've spoken to some of the guys and said, hey, you want to fight Misfits? There's been a couple who wanted to cross over, but they're very intimidated by the Misfits fighters. I think they take this slightly more seriously, but I praise them for what they do. And it's entertainment, and I love it, you know, so more of that, please, you know, I welcome it.
There's a very public fallout, though, in terms of the deficit that Creator Clash event left in terms of creating money for the charities that they wanted to create money for. What do you think they have to do this time around to make sure it's a financial success?
There's so many elements to it, you know, and I think hopefully they're smart enough to learn from their mistakes. You know, listen, we make mistakes as well, and we don't repeat our mistakes, and that's the important part. So good luck to them. I hope it's a great event. I'll be watching as well.
How has the scene changed now that Kingpyn is out of the scene, for better or for worse, in terms of fighter pays, getting fighters onto Misfits, anything you can think of in terms of losing Kingpyn as competition, if you even saw them that way?
I think we definitely welcome competition, because historically, if other people start pushing and bringing more attention to this space in general, it's going to kick everyone's ass to want to do better. You know, if we're 5 steps ahead, I want to be 10 steps ahead. I don't want to be 5 steps ahead. So if there's serious competition, it's just going to motivate us. So I welcome that.
Very last thing for myself, the production in terms of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. What did you think of that in terms of what the broadcast was able to offer compared to what you were able to offer?
I think the visual production was unbelievable, very well done. In terms of actually, you know, for people who attended the event, I think obviously we all know they had massive streaming issues. So I got to watch about 40% of the show, and we changed devices 5 or 6 times, which is obviously frustrating. But it's Netflix, they're gonna get it right, you know? But for a first event, got that many viewers, I'm totally, disgusted by the main event, and I was going into it, and I am after the event. You know, but in terms of the actual visual production, it was great. Didn't love the commentary. And what else can I say? They had some really good fights on the undercard too.
Mams, much appreciated. Thanks for being SecondsOut.